really know if I saw anything, but I saw that whenever we were setting screens with the big, she wouldn't switch. So that way I had momentum to get downhill, so I utilized that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mikayla, how fun was it to have that sort of like back and forth duel with Shea Ralph throughout the game? Because y'all both had, 30 balls. Y'all both were just making such a big impact on the game throughout. How fun was a game like that?
I mean, I love those moments. She's a really good player, and I just really had to come back at her with a couple shots, even though she made a couple.
Any more questions for Mikayla? Go ahead.
Mikayla, one of the biggest things that stood out tonight was the fact that y'all played better, not turning the ball over. Just how much of an emphasis put in that throughout the week?
It's been a big emphasis. We have to take care of our possessions. We can't give them open layups in transition. So we've just really been focusing on that and then what to do when our plays break down and how to move.
All right, any other questions for Mikayla? All right. Congratulations. All right. Now we'll take an opening statement from Coach Ralph after today's 66-64 win at Alabama, and we'll open up the floor for questions. So, Coach, just what are your thoughts after the game?
Yeah, the first thing I want to say is I have a ton of respect for Christy and Kelly Curry and the program that they have here. I haven't been a head coach for very long, but we have bonded over parenting, and she's a mother too, and the things that she has done for my family and I, the encouragement that she's given me, especially when we first got to Vanderbilt and it was really tough. I'll never take that for granted. So I hate that one of us had to come away with a loss today, but seeing as we haven't beat them in 4 years that I've been here, I'm glad that we had the win. I'm also really proud of our team. I think the message that we've constantly been preaching in our locker room, in our meetings, is what it looks like for us when we're consistent in all the things that require no talent. The things that require no talent. Can we bring that every day? Can we be great in those moments where, hey, in the first half, our shots weren't falling, we were getting open looks, but if we didn't defend, then we weren't going to be able to dig ourselves out of that hole. So we have to be consistent in those tiny details, especially with our defense and rebounding, and then know that our offense will always come along as we do that. And so Mikayla is right. We've been working a lot on moving the ball side to side, making sure that it doesn't stick, taking advantage of all the pieces we have on the floor, and just playing together. And I think that has made all the difference for this team on both ends of the floor. We've really started to understand that we can hang our hat on defense and rebounding when we effort, and that gives us a chance to be competitive with anyone in the country. So today was a huge day for us because it's just another step forward in the right direction, and also instilling the belief in our kids that any game we show up for like this, we can win.
All right, we'll go ahead and open up the floor for questions. If you have a question, raise your hand and state your name and organization. Go ahead, start there.
Elena Morris, Vandy 24/7. It felt like in the third quarter after you called that timeout, you guys went on a run and just felt like the momentum shifted. What was that conversation like with your team?
Just, understanding the game of basketball. There's going to be moments where they make a run. There needs to be moments where we make a run, and also that it's a very long game. So it was more so like, hey, let's take a deep breath. Let's get back to who we are, sit here for a second, communicate about our defense, communicate about our offense, and then let's now make our run. So it was really just a moment of let's just take a moment, that timeout. And thankfully, I thought our kids did a great job. They have been responding well in those moments where, hey, this can unravel, and it has in the past, but this team has figured it out. And so it really was them. They decided, in that moment, here's what we're going to do, here's how we're going to do it, and then they did it.
Back there, Sarah Turner, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sarah Turner with Voice in Sport. And from what I looked at, I don't think y'all have beaten Alabama since 2017.
I definitely, since we haven't been here.
So, what does that mean for the direction that this program's going into?
The vision has always been here to compete for championships. And I think I can say that all I want, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes that make this opportunity today for us to compete, against Alabama, who is, top 20 team, has a very good program, a reality. So what does that mean? The trajectory of our program right now is made possible by all the things that are happening in our leadership. So we just opened our new basketball facility. That speaks volumes of our chancellor's commitment, our athletic director's commitment, not only to athletics, but to women's athletics and to women, and to helping us be successful and be able to bring in and retain the best student athletes in the world. Because don't forget now, we're at Vanderbilt, which is a world-class university, and we exist in the SEC. So what don't we have? But what I have no control over is the leadership and the investment that they make in terms of resources and people and the value they put on our program. I have that in spades at Vanderbilt, which gives us the opportunity to put a product on the floor like you saw today.
All right, go over here in the blue shirt.
Elijah Burke's Crimson Whites, how important was Camille Pierre's presence throughout the game? 6 offensive rebounds, five steals. How important was it to have someone like her just really make a big impact on both offensive glass and the defensive end throughout the game?
I'm so glad you brought that up. Could you just put that all over social media? Because that kid, and this is maybe the biggest moment of growth for her since she's been here. She was getting wide open shots, and they weren't falling. Shots that normally fall easily for her. And, in moments like that for her, it has been difficult for her to overcome that. But today, she was a monster. And I told her in the locker room she was the difference in the game. She had 14 rebounds, 6 of them offensive. And, she was a player that they couldn't keep off the backboard. And in crucial moments, right? In crucial moments, she came up with rebounds that we had to have. She was active in our defense and helping us turn them over 23 times, I think, when they average only 14. There were things that she did off the ball today that she hasn't done consistently since she's been here. And what Camille, I don't think she understands it yet, but I think what she's starting to figure out is this, if and when she continues to do things like that, she will be unguardable. There won't be anyone that can take that kid out of the game. So today wasn't only a huge moment for her, but it was a big one for our team, because if she plays like that, whether or not she scores, we're going to be tough to beat.
Elena Morris right there in the front.
I feel like I've asked you about her recently, but how important is Leilani Kapanis on the defensive end, especially in a game like today? Yeah,
we were talking about what we're going to do with Sarah Ashley Barker, who I happen to love, except when we play her, at halftime. And, there's strategy, and there's talking about how, where you at and your gaps, all the things, basketball terminology, right? Turns out we just needed to put Leilani on her. And she still did what she does, but Leilani is the same kind of competitor with the same kind of strength and build. And I thought that Leigh did a great job, not only on Sarah Ashley Barker, but she just brings a different kind of energy to the game. I described her recently as a bulldog because she doesn't need to score the ball, but she's going to do all those blue-collar things that you have to have in sports, in basketball, to win big games. So that was a huge opportunity for her, and she took full advantage of it.
All right, final question right here.
Coach, nearly half of the points come from or off of turnovers. How important is that to the formula of getting a big victory on the road?
Everything that we do starts with our defense and rebounding and our ability to be competitive on the defensive end of the floor and on the backboards on both ends. So the reason is, number one, I think we have a team that can be competitive, and we have since we've been here in that way. It's fun to play that way. It creates an up-tempo style of play. But also what I know about basketball and playing in March and early April is that most people know exactly what you're going to do. They know exactly what you're going to do. So it's the players that can make plays, and then it's the teams that are really tough to score on and that you can't get opportunities. Maybe you get one, and then the rebound is theirs and they're going the other way. So if we can always lock up on defense and we can be competitive on the boards, then we'll always give ourselves a chance. And that's now, that's February, that's March, that's whenever we walk out on the court. So I think our team is starting to understand that, and especially in the last week and a half or so.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time. Congratulations on the
Thank you
win.
guys so much.